Yeah, it got us a 6T70E and 13 millimeters on the front case. Go ahead and pull our dipstick out. I'm going to mark all the places that have studs. $10 millimeters. Unplug our speed sensors. And down here we got, let's see if we got a good shot of this. A tab, a gray tab, locking tab. We're going to slide that to the side. That's going to release the tab that so we can compress it and get that off. Now, early models, these were all 10s. Later models, they added some 8s. And we leave that one on there. Let's see. That allows our Tecum to come off. The early models had pressure sensors in here, and you're going to want to rebuild those. This is a late model, so we don't have to worry about that. Take these 8s out right here. And these 2 10s right here. That allows our valve body to come off. The 10 millimeter on this speed sensor. There's a rubber seal that goes between the valve body and the case. Alright, we're going to flip this up on its face. Make sure we don't smash our wiring harness. You don't have to take the speed sensor out unless you're going to replace it. 10 millimeters on this end. There's 13 millimeter on the speed sensor. Now, there's no need to take this apart unless you're going to replace these pistons, or it's, you know, it's blown up back here. Normally I don't never have to take this apart. I just hand wash this. And a bearing. Take this drum apart in a minute. Your sun shell. Usually all this stuff is in really good shape, or it's just blown to crap. Make sure your cushion plate's not cracked. And another cushion plate. There we go. Our planet and 2 bearings here. Make sure our pinions are good. Our sun gear. We've got the line is up. Our other planet. And we got 2 bearings down inside here. Other planet. Sun shell. Bearing. We got our snap ring. It's got a notch, and the opening is right here in this area. But we got a tab on this snap ring. Fits right in that groove right there. And I always mark my sprag so it's just quicker to go back in. I don't have to sit there and try to figure out where it goes. Make sure it turns free one direction and locks the other. There's no cracks back here. And we got another set of clutches and our cushion plate. Our snap ring holds our piston in, bonded piston. Openings at the 5 o'clock. We've got our Belleville spring and our piston. This hub and the bearing. Now our case half should come off. Hung up on our dowel pin down here. Difficult. There we go. Alright, our lube tube, the transfer gear, differential, 10mm on this oil slinger, 10mm on the pump. I've yet to have one of these pumps that's bad. I take it over to the tank and I pump fluid through it. If it's pumping good, I don't worry about it at all. I just leave it together. You can hear it pumping. $13mm on these. The early models had another bolt right here in between this and the early ones. The bolt hole was still there and it was still threaded, but it did not have a bolt in it. Make sure we're turning nice and good. Look at our bushing up inside here. If there's anywhere, you're going to want to replace that. I very rarely have to put a bushing kit on one of these. And our chain, make sure it's not super sloppy. And then there's 2 washers on the back side. One goes here, one goes here. And normally the colored link faces up, but I don't see one on this one. I'll let this drain and go right this up and we'll be back. I did forget to take this drum apart, so I guess we ought to do that. Got our hub, bearing here. I'm going to have to go over to the press this down, take this snap ring off. Then I got to press this down. Be careful that you don't go too far and break this tab off. There's a snap ring out here that you got to take off, take this piston off in order to get this apart. Alright, here's our 2 snap rings. Here's our balance piston and our return spring for here. Now that we got the piston off of here, go ahead and get this the rest of the way off. And our piston and return spring. Now we can get this snap ring out of here. That allows these to come off. Our cushion plate's just now breaking. Ruined one of our steels. This is the first time I've seen this. It cracked the drum. So we're going to need a drum. And even if this cushion plate is not broke, you always replace it no matter what. Let's see, I think it's this one. Nope. Which one is it? There we go. It's the second one. And there's our other piston. I hate eat up in here too, where the thing goes. Luckily, it didn't tear up any planets or anything. I wonder where the rest of the piece is at. I'm going to go back through this and double check everything. Alright, I'm going to do LS kit, filter, zip kit, 3.5 reverse cushion plate, 3.5 reverse steel, 4.56 drum, and torque converter.